Yeah. Procedure of how
Mama lit to myself, must think I'm crazy, but I'm humbling myself and I'm giving praise. Fumbling, got myself, they don't know what I'm saying. If you crumble and need help, I know who can raise you. Unspeakable, unspeakable, the meaning's unreachable. I'll go where he leads me to. More sin than them, I'm gon' need a few. Lately, I've had a hard time, ain't been satisfied when I testify. Wanna make sure I'm sharp when I make the point of view. When them blessings come through, I'm clear then, and even more clear. When you do it again, they must understand the point of view.
Said I couldn't change that, that's another life. But I struck a cage, I stayed on my grind. I was way back, now I'm front of line. Was I supposed to say that? Ain't trying to undermine.
Mama lit to myself, must think I'm crazy, but I'm humbling myself and I'm giving praise. Fumbling, got myself, they don't know what I'm saying. If you crumble and need help, I know who can raise you. Unspeakable, unspeakable, the meaning's unreachable. I'll go where he leads me to. More sin than them, I'm gon' need a few. Lately, I've had a hard time, ain't been satisfied when I testify. Wanna make sure I'm sharp when I make the point of view. When them blessings come through, I'm clear then, and even more clear. When you do it again, they must understand the point of view.
Dark situations can make them much brighter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If your spirit's way down, he can make them much lighter. Yeah. You just taking off, you can go higher. Now let the joyful water fill your eyes up.
Lately, I've had a hard time, ain't been satisfied when I testify. Wanna make sure I'm sharp when I make the point of view. When them blessings come through, I'm clear then, and even more clear. When you do it again, they must understand the point of view. Joy, 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 joy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I am O Tatum Speaks. If you are new here, please like, subscribe, share. Looks like I'm blending in today. That's pretty cool. Wearing a black shirt. Today's a special show. I want to talk about something very important. I always say there's a reason I play the music that I play. But before I do anything, I'm going to give my disclaimer. Every live, I will say this. I am complete. While I am to the right, I am completely open to new ideas. One thing that I don't want to do is be like NBC. I don't want the world to find out after the fact that I'm a fraud or that I was not being honest with you guys. I'm giving you my opinions. They are based on fact. Since I've been going live, I've been going down the road of Black America and being more sympathetic and empathetic to causes that aren't our own, that offer us no return on investment. I believe it is destroyed and is still destroying our homes and our Black communities. And I know we are better than what we are doing. I know we are better than where we are at. So what I want to do is talk for a second this time. If you haven't noticed, I usually wait a couple of days before I go over something. And the reason I do that is I don't want to be the guy, we'll just take the Trump assassination attempt. I don't want to be the guy who comes on just for clicks and views because it's breaking news. I want to give you guys actual information based on something. I don't want to say, oh man, this doesn't look good. I hope he wasn't set up, or I hope he didn't fake this shooting. I want to come to you guys like I did. If you go back and look at that live, that is a perfect example of how I want to present who I am, why I'm here, what I'm doing. I believe I can give you guys information that other people don't. I believe I can state things in a way that other people don't. And I believe I can do that not with the intent to persuade. You can believe what you want, but to give you information, and you can take away what you will. That's my goal here. I don't want to sensationalize anything. I just want to present what I believe is really, really important to what I said my cause is, and that's helping the Black community get out of where we are and just open to new ideas. That's my goal. I want to assess what's real from my perspective. And again, you don't have to agree with me. You can agree with me. Great. But even if you agree with me, I want you to still walk away with something. I don't want to just preach to the choir. There are great reaction channels. I'll be naming one later on. I understand what they do. I understand why they do it. I understand what it brings. I understand the implications of doing it. But what I don't want to do is that. I want to react to the story, not the incident. I want to know what happened. A, B, C, D. How did it lead to this story or to the incident? Or what happened after the incident? So just please keep that in mind when I'm going live. Again, I want to base everything on facts. So if you find me coming and it seems like I'm late to the party, hopefully I'm bringing you guys more information than what you've heard. I don't want to go off of gut feelings. I have those. Everybody has those. But I want to present truth, and I want you guys to actually trust what I'm saying and not just think that I'm just here trying to, I don't know, get views. Before I, actually, you know what? I would akin that to the overusage of the word racism. We damage the word, and it's dangerous in my opinion because we diminish what it really is. When you tell a story and you're just sensationalizing it, and people aren't believing what you're saying, in this case me, you're not believing what I'm saying, everything becomes a question. And there's really no trust in anything. And I just want to, like I said, I want to be honest about where I'm coming from, but I also want to present you guys facts. Before I say anything, Amber C, hello. Genesis 1, hello. Phoenix Rising, thank you, ma'am, for coming. Miss Chicago, Chi-Town, what's going on? Denise Stewart, hello, how are you? Welcome everybody. I have my windows open. I have all my windows open. I have my Cash App window open, so if anyone blesses me, I will on the spot or at the first opportunity recognize it, because I was not doing a very good job of recognizing people sending me their hard-earned dollars simply for speaking my mind, and they find value in it. I need to reciprocate that. I need to just recognize it more. So last stream, Miss Beautiful One, Rare Money, blessed me, and I cannot keep explaining how humbling that is. So today's topic is going to, or actually the topic of today, or the title of today's live, proving that the Olympic opening was in fact anti-Christian, and how Democrats align with that sentiment. I guess I should just start with the video. Yeah, I'm going to start with the video. Where is it? And I want you guys to understand, this is what the world thinks of you. I came in with the music I came in with because I have zero shame in saying Christ is King. I have zero shame in saying Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And I do not like what I'm seeing on the world stage. And this is what I'm on the world. Sound isn't very good on this one, but you're going to get the gist. And as I'm playing this, I mean, obviously you can see it, but a headless woman performing the song King, costumes, none other than. And this is the part that's most important, in my opinion. All right. This is what caused the issue. When you look at this, what do you see? Don't listen to what they tell you it is. What do you see? Because again, they're playing this game like the left always does. Don't believe your lying eyes. Listen to what we say it is, and then get over it, essentially. All right, so 2024 Paris Olympics removes the video of its opening ceremony after drag queen performance with a man's are hanging out. And in this corner is that man. And I'm going to get back to this. It's pretty disgusting. But again, no big deal, right? This is no big deal. They had to pull it. I'm going to get this image off. I apologize. I probably should have warned you guys. I thought I was going to put that up. But that's what you saw. You just saw it again. What was the response of Christians worldwide? The only public statement that I saw outside of Twitter was the French Catholic Church. Why? All of the faith-based channels that I follow on social media, nobody said anything about this. And maybe they bought the excuse. Maybe they said, you know what? Maybe it had nothing to do with Jesus. It had nothing to do with the Last Supper. It's possible. I don't believe it, and I'm going to prove to you that it's a lie, but it's possible. What they started saying is that it is Dionysus, or Dionysus, who was a Greek god of fertility and blessings and wine. There's problems with this lie, because that's what it is. It's a lie. They came out, and I'm going to show you why I say it's a lie, because it's a lie. Let's go share my screen. And the first one was French church leaders. Here we go. These are the people who publish. There we go. All right. French church leaders and the Chiefs Harrison Bucker slam apparent drag parody of the Last Supper. He's a football player. And let's scroll down to what made it a big deal. There's the image again. This is what the Chiefs posted. This is crazy. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Where is it? That's what I just said. In a statement released early Saturday, the group denounced the performance as scenes of derision and mockery of Christianity that we deeply deplore. That is what the church said. And the response, where is it? From a Paris 2024 spokesperson said, clearly there was never any intention to show disrespect towards any religious group or belief. On the contrary, each of the tableau, I think I said that right. Each of the tableau in Paris 2024 opening ceremony were intended to celebrate community and tolerance. That's what that was. The artistic director, Thomas Jolly, took inspiration from Leonardo da Vinci's famous painting of the Last Supper for the ceremony's festivities segment to create the setting that they added. He is not the first artist to make reference to what is a world famous work of art, the Da Vinci Last Supper painting. The spokesperson concludes, from Andy Warhol to The Simpsons, many have done it before him. Now, that was an official statement from somebody who is employed by, I guess, the Olympic Committee. I don't know. Vice Mylene, how you doing? Welcome back. Let's get rid of that. The story was shifted. Let's see, to this, and hopefully I can read it. That's not bad. Imagine being so immersed in Christianity that you don't understand the references to Greek culture, such as the fact that the Olympics originated in Greece, for instance, the white horse, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about that. The party you think is a parody of the Last Supper is actually Greek bacchanal. I can't see it. Crap, I should have got this. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Oh, that's good. That's better. A lavish, noisy festival that lasted several days in ancient Greece to celebrate events like the Olympics. The blue figure is not a parody of Jesus Christ. It's Dionysus, the Greek god of fertility, wine, and pleasure. Also, the Olympics celebrated physical prowess and divine favor, concepts linked to the symbolic power of bull in Greek culture. The world does not revolve around Christianity, and not everyone aims to offend Christian followers. If your ignorance and lack of cultural knowledge led to offense, that is on you. This was a post that I've seen it all over social media. That's their explanation, and the problem with that is the Olympic spokesperson had already spoken out and said that it was. Now, let's go back to share the screen. Olympics opening ceremony, Last Supper. Sorry. This is a little tedious, but in order to disprove a lie, you have to show what was really happening. And this says that controversy. It says Olympics opening ceremony tableau sparks controversy amongst the Christian community. And where is this guy? Thomas Jolly confirmed that Leonardo da Vinci, da Vinci's The Last Supper, was not his inspiration for the performance. All right. Let's scroll down. Tableau. Where is it? So this is pretty much the same thing I just said. This is let's see. This is today. All right. Clearly, there was never any intention. I just kind of read this, but I'll read it again. Disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think the artistic director Thomas Jerry tried to celebrate tolerance. Somebody, I don't know, DeCamp said at a press conference, we believe his ambition was achieved, and people have taken any offense. We are sorry. Read on. I don't need to read on. All right. So now the artistic director says he was not inspired by The Last Supper. The Olympic Committee said he was inspired by The Last Supper. Let's go here. This is the image again, but they're saying is not. So here's the problem. This person here said, oh yes, the New Gay Testament. The person who posted this on Twitter, her name was Barbara Butch. So let's find out who Barbara Butch is. I love catching people in lies because They're playing in our faces as if we don't know what we're looking at. Barbara Butch. This is the actual post here again. Who is this lady? Barbara. Barbara, who are you, Barbara? Oh, Barbara Butch is the lady in the picture or in the video with the big halo. Let's see. She is the one who celebrated it as essentially anti-Christian. This is her. She is an activist. She's a DJ. She's a producer out of, looks like, I don't know, Europe, France. Maybe she's French. I don't know. So, main side of that blue person says it was, in fact, why can't I see it? There. It was, in fact, a new gay testament. She was under the impression, beautiful one, how you doing, young lady? She was under the impression that it was. The artiste who created the spectacle said it was not. The Paris Olympics committee person said it was. Who are we going to believe? Because this lady, wearing the halo, says it was. It's interesting, when they were trying to debunk it, they were talking about the blue person. We're not talking about the blue person. I don't care about the blue person. I care about the person in the middle of all those people with the halo. Who does that represent? What does that have to do with Greek culture? Because it looks really, really, really similar to me when I look at these two things. And when I listen to what the lady in the halo says, I have to take her word for it, don't I? Should I not take her word for it? Should I wait and hear the explanation for the backlash before I say, oh, okay, it wasn't about Jesus? This had nothing to do with Jesus. Clearly, the artist said it doesn't. After the backlash, he said it doesn't. I find that interesting. This poor lady has been harassed. She's been harassed. And her lawyer came out with this letter. This was day before yesterday. Since the opening ceremony of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, artist, DJ, and activist Barbara Butch has been the target of extremely violent campaign of cyber harassment and defamation. And the halo is complaining that she is being defamed. She's the one being defamed. This is what they think of you. If you're a believer in Christ, this is what they think of you. They're playing in your face. They couldn't care less. She has been threatened with death, torture, rape, and also been the target of numerous anti-Semitic, homophobic, sexist, and I don't even know what that is. That's a new one. Grossophobic insults. She condemns this vile hatred directed at her, what she represents, and what she stands for. What does she stand for? I don't know what she stands for. But anyway, indeed, her commitments and personal values, this is unbelievable, her personal values of benevolence, inclusivity, and love for others has always been at the heart of her artistic project, promoting festivities for all, regardless of age, sexual orientation, origin, religion, or gender. So why play with a religion? Why Christianity? I find that interesting. Today, she's filing several complaints against these acts, whether committed by French nationals or foreigners, and intends to prosecute anyone who tries to intimidate her in the future. All right. Nobody should be attacked. Nobody should be threatened. And none of that. But I just find it interesting, and I find it fascinating that she feels like she's the victim. And maybe there are people threatening her. That's never going to call for somebody being threatened. But I just don't understand why the story is about her being mistreated, not about what we all saw and what literally insulted billions of people. She doesn't see it. And I believe in free speech, but I also believe in the consequences of free speech. And I also believe if we're on a world stage and you're mocking somebody, fine, that's cool. Do it to everybody. That's my opinion. Don't just mock one person Because when you do that, it kind of looks like you have an agenda. And when you have an entire ceremony, it seems agenda driven. What agenda do you say? I just showed you proof that what the lady was saying was true, and then what the artist was saying was a lie, and what the Paris 2024 Olympic staffer said was true. They mocked Christians openly. And again, do what you want, but then don't expect me not to say anything. I have a problem with any Christian who did not say anything, had no comment, because we are the targets of persecution around the world, and I'm about to show that right now, because it really bothers me. Candace Owens was on Don Lemon's show, and this is gonna relate, I promise you. And I want you guys to see how I feel we all need to start responding to this kind of behavior, because it's sick, it's beyond anti-Christian. It is vile, and they don't do it to anybody else. We seem to be the targets of this stuff. We seem to be the main targets of all of this. And let me play this first before I keep going.
Christians suffered too. In fact, we are the most persecuted religion in the world. And I am so sick of it. I am so sick of there can only be one victim narrative. And if you start.
So the context is they were talking about, they said she made insensitive remarks, and his staff did not want her on because he made insensitive remarks. She made insensitive remarks about somebody Jewish that they deemed was anti-Semitic. She says it wasn't. I don't think it was. But it is up for interpretation. So his sensitivities were to his staff. Well, it wasn't too sensitive because he had her on anyway. But his sensitivities were to his staff and how they felt. And this is her response. Let me go back to start so you guys have the full context.
It's not about the Holocaust, okay? Christians suffered too. In fact, we are the most persecuted religion in the world. And I am so sick of it. I am so sick of there can only be one victim narrative. And if you start talking about,
and we are not the most persecuted in the world. Come on.
That is a fact. What are you saying that we're not the most persecuted religion in the world? Do you know what's happening in Armenia? Do you know what's happening in Nigeria? Do you know what just happened in Canada? The fake story that was propagated by all of the mainstream networks about the nuns, and they found the mass burial, which allowed 85 Catholic churches to be burned to the ground.
I actually sent that story to Genesis 1 and asked her what she thought about it, because that had been getting spread for a long time, and then they found out it never happened. Meanwhile, 85 churches were destroyed. Sorry.
Last 3 years in Canada, we are still being persecuted right now. Okay. So I take great offense to you coming in here about the sensitivities of the people that are working on your show when I'm sitting here telling you that I'm a Christian and I'm offended by what you're saying, and you laugh, you mock Christian persecution. Do you think people to laugh when someone tells you about Christian persecution? Because let me tell you something, if I had done that, I would laugh about the Holocaust,
I don't think it's funny.
I would be chased out of polite society. Then don't laugh. Don't laugh at Christian persecution. Don't do it.
Laughable is mean that the name is in the term. It's laughable.
Do not laugh. You literally just laughed when I talked about Christian persecution. Don't do that ever again. Not in my presence.
What you're saying is, okay, Candace, thank you.
When the numbers of Christians that were persecuted following the Russian Revolution and the manner in which they were killed, people that were beheaded, priests that were shot. Yes, it is. I can talk about Christian history, and I don't need to feel guilty about that, and I won't.
That's fine. All right, good. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to.
And please, genuinely, please, never, please, when I come on your show, have enough respect not to laugh when I talk about Christian persecution, because you would never do that if I was Jewish and I was talking about the Holocaust.
You can't tell.
You would never do that.
You should have enough respect to know not to tell people how to react. You can't tell someone not to laugh.
Okay. Well, then I double dare you when a Jewish person is talking about persecution of Jews to laugh. You won't do it.
I won't do it because I actually believe that there were persecution of Jews, and
you don't believe that Christians were persecuted.
My thought. I believe that there is persecution of Christians. I don't think it's the most persecuted religion in the world. Okay.
All right. How you doing? Welcome, Mike. I agree with you 100%. Christians and Jewish white men are the only groups socially acceptable to mock and demonize. You saw him laugh. And then he downplayed it. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
In the world. Come on.
That is a
Very
fact.
important.
And if you start
I am a
talking about
Christian.
there can
Smiling
only
and
be
laughing
one
when she's
victim
talking
in
about
the world,
murder.
and I am so sick of it. I am so sick of there can only be one victim
Andrew,
narrative.
come
And if
on.
you start
I am a
talking about
Christian, and we are not the most
Christians are not,
persecuted in the world. Come on.
that is a
Let
fact.
me
What are
let me
you
just say, you know
saying
what
that
it
we're not the
sounds
most
like? It
persecuted in the
sounds
world? Do you
like
know
to
what's
you.
happening in Armenia? Do you know
Let
what's
me
happening in
let
Nigeria?
me
Do you know
tell
what just
you.
happened in Canada?
Let
The
me
fake
tell you what
story
this.
that was propagated by all
Okay.
of the
All
mainstream
right.
networks about the nuns, and they found the mass burial, which allowed 80.
Look at his face. He's laughing while she's talking about this stuff. Everything she's saying is true. The Armenian genocide, Nigeria right now is ranked number 2 for persecution of Christians. Look at his face. This is, oh, I'm a Christian. Okay. I bring this up for a reason. Because what she's saying is true, and I love how she handled it. Don't ever do that when I'm in your
Catholic churches
presence.
Tell someone not to laugh.
that
You should-
would
Right
never
here.
do that if I was
Well,
Jewish. Talk about Christian
Because she's
persecution.
100% correct.
That's
Okay.
fine. All right, good. You don't.
The manner in which they were killed, people that were beheaded, priests that were shot. Yes, it is. I can talk about Christian history, and I don't need to feel guilty about that, and I
Okay,
won't.
that's
Okay.
fine. All right, good. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to
And
be.
please,
anything.
genuinely, please
Yeah. Okay, so
never,
listen.
please, when I come on your show, have enough respect not to laugh when I talk about Christian persecution, because you would never do that if I was Jewish and I was talking about the Holocaust.
You can't tell
You
me
would never do that.
You should have enough respect to know not to tell people how to react. You can't tell someone not to laugh.
Okay. Well, then I
Come on.
double dare you
Okay.
when a Jewish person is talking about persecution of Jews to laugh. You won't do it.
His arrogance is astounding to me because he actually had a little controversy himself with the Jewish community. But I'm not going to go back over that because it's not important. My issue is with us. If you're a Christian, why do we allow this kind of stuff? Why can't we speak up like she did? Why can't we say, hey, don't do that? I wouldn't disrespect you, don't disrespect me. Why can't we do that? It really, it's actually stunning because he says he's a Christian, and I don't know if he's Christian. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But if you Google most persecuted religions, this is what comes up. Most persecuted religion in the world. The Google AI immediately pulls up the information for you. It's really difficult. According to Pew Research Center, Christianity and Islam are the religions most persecuted in the world. All right. With Christians facing harassment in 145 countries and Muslims in 139. That would make Christians the most persecuted people in the world when it comes to faith, right? Is that what this says? This isn't Wikipedia. Jews also face harassment in 88 countries and are far more likely than other groups to live in countries where they experience harassment. United States Commission of International Religious Freedoms 2020, so this is a little bit old, but it hasn't gotten any better. Report identify countries where Christians are persecuted, including Burma, China, Eritrea, which used to be Ethiopia before their civil war, India, Iran, Nigeria, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and Vietnam. So this isn't like, she's not saying anything wrong. If you go to the House of Commons library, which I did, I just clicked on this, that's why it's purple. Let's see. Sorry. It's just fascinating to me that people who claim to be something know nothing about it. All right, now let's go to religious persecution in the world. This is the House of Commons of UK Parliament. This was actually 2024. All right. Around 365 million Christians are subject to high levels of persecution and discrimination compared to the 304 million in 2021. What's gone up? 1 in 7 Christians are persecuted worldwide, including 1 in 5 in Africa and 1 in 7 in Asia. This is compared to 1 in 8 worldwide in 2021. So it has gone up since the initial report came out that I looked at. So if you go and you click on this one here, where it says report for 2023, which was last year, let's do that, shall we? It's really sad that I have to do this. But it's also incredible that I have to do this because I thought this was known. Let's go. Bam. Bam. Right? Hopefully you can see that. These are the countries where Christians are persecuted as of last year. The number one, North Korea. And if you click on any of these, see, this is reputable stuff. This came from our government and the UK's government. This is the study that they used. North Korea. Number of Christians, 400,000. This is what they're subjected to, and the areas of their life that they are subjected to persecution as Christians. Literally every aspect. And you can go through and look at every country, Somalia, Libya, and this is in order of the persecution. Nigeria, that's the one she was talking about. Isn't that weird? All of these are countries, and it keeps going on, and you can click through. If you want this information, literally Google it. You can keep going, and it tells you where the places are violent. So there you go, Bangladesh, real violence in Nigeria. So as you scroll through, you can see what she's saying not only is true, but it's documented. And not only did he laugh, he dismissed it. Said, I don't believe that. Does it really matter what he believes? Mike says, I think he has no idea that there are Christians all over the world. He thinks Christians are only American. I believe so. What's going on, Baker Man? How you doing, sir? I believe that's true because I know these people who think like this live in a bubble. He's probably traveled everywhere, but he never thought about anything while he was traveling other than leisure because that's the life he lives. But it's offensive to me that he laughed, and I think we should handle it more like Candace Owens handled it. Hey, do not do that. Don't disrespect me. What are you doing? Why would you do that? They won't allow that. Say something to somebody in the alphabet community and insult them and laugh. While they're talking about their issues, just laugh at them. Watch what happens to you. I dare you. I double dog dare you. They won't do it. They just won't. I believe we need to handle this differently. We need to stop. So turn the other cheek, in my opinion, does not mean that. It doesn't mean allow this kind of stuff, this open disrespect. To me, it means have grace. We're not fighting over it. But that doesn't mean you can't say anything. Say, hey, man, don't disrespect me. This is who I am. You're disrespecting me. I don't separate that from racism. I don't separate that from sexism, any other ism, any other phobe. I don't separate it because that's who we are. If you're a Christian, of course. If you're a Muslim, don't let people do that to you. It's disrespectful. The guy laughed in her face. And to me, rightfully, she corrected it. So I appreciated that. And I think that that's a really good way to look at what's going on today. I think that ceremony was disgusting. I think they tried to lie about it. I think I just proved that it was what they did. It was targeted to one group who is openly mocked and disrespected across the planet, and it is the only group that doesn't say anything. We just accept it. I don't think that's good. I don't think it helps anybody, and I think it looks really weak. And I think you are not standing up for your Lord and Savior, like literally. You're allowing that nonsense. You don't have to fight, like I said. At least demand some kind of respect. In my opinion. You don't have to do what I'm saying. This is just my point of view. And this is my opinion. It is not my opinion that Christians are the most persecuted around the world. I just showed you that it's a fact. It's documented. It's documented. But why will the Olympics do this? That's the next question. It's not the most important question. It's the next question. The most important question is, why are we allowing that nonsense? But let's look at why they're trying to do this. Because to me, it's pretty obvious, but this all leads back to an agenda. When you look at everybody who was on that stage, you look at who's defending it, when you look at who's laughing at it, to me, it's pretty clear. To me. person is a man. He was born a man. And that person he was fighting is a woman. Now, let's rewatch this. Look at his punches. Look at her punches. Look at her reaction to his punches. And I'm not saying his to misgender him. Look at her face. Are you okay with this? Are you okay with this? I'm going to show you who this person is. Because, again, there's a reason they're doing what they're doing. They're not just randomly coming up with ways to make people upset. That's not what this is. It is disgusting. It absolutely is disgusting. And it's dangerous. It's terrifying, actually. Let's look at this. Thank God I got out. Let's see. Let me see. Does this make it bigger on you guys' screen or no? Does it just make it bigger for me to see? I can't tell if it's actually helping at all to do that. But you guys can see at least the headline. And as I go through, this is the woman fighter who found out who that guy was after the fight, of course. Thank God I got out safely. Female fighter's relief after facing boxer who failed gender test. What does failed gender tests mean? This is the person that they were fighting. This is July 30th, 2024. When was that? Yesterday? That's weird. All right. Footage has emerged of Imaine Khalif, an Algerian boxer permitted to fight women at the Paris Olympics despite failing a sex test. Landing such brutal shots that had her beaten Mexican opponent. Said, I don't think I've ever felt like that in my 13 years as a boxer, nor in my sparring with men. Well, it's not sparring, it's real at that point. Berlinda Tamara sustained ferocious blows to the head throughout the bout with Khalif, which had to be stopped in the third round in Guadalajara in December 2022. So this person is fighting now, but when they failed, it was in 2022. Now they're allowed to fight again. Let's see why. When I fought her, I felt very out of my depth. She reflected, her blows hurt me a lot. Thank God that day I got out of the ring safely, and it's good that they finally realized. This is more of that video. Let's see. Can I
a la mexicana Mane Khalif, que se está llevando la contienda ahora en las repeticiones, el golpe de impacto. Sí.
I don't need sound. This is not sparring. It's in Spanish, so I don't need sound. This is not sparring. This is Olympic level boxing. This is the best of the best of people trying to be the best, trying to go pro. This is the best amateurs that the sport has to offer. This is her face. If your daughter wants to take up a woman's sport, do you want her dealing with something like this and then finding out after the fact that it's a man or was a man, or however you want to phrase it? I'm not here to offend anybody. Is that how you want to find out? After your face looks like that? After the match? So what does failing the sex test mean? It means they have XY chromosomes. It's a man. That's how you fail. Oh, she's Italian. Okay, so the event was in Guadalajara. There was now intense scrutiny on Khalif's first scheduled fight in Paris against Italy's Angela Carini on Thursday. So is that this coming Thursday? Oh, that's tomorrow. I'll be watching. The International Olympic Committee claimed that both the Algerian and Taiwan's Lin Yu-ting can participate. That's another one who failed the sex test, meaning XY. It's really simple. It's not like a weed test. This is A literal DNA test saying, no, you can't compete with women. Why would you want to? On the grounds that they have fulfilled eligibility requirements to possess female passports. I don't know what that means. This is contrary to the stance taken by the International Boxing Association, which disqualified Khalif from last year's World Championships in Delhi while stripping Lin of the bronze medal because of the biochemical test for gender eligibility. How do you pass that 2 years later? How do you get rid of that? How do you get rid of your chromosomes? Khalif was thrown out of the event just hours before her gold medal bout against Liang Yu of China, with the official Olympic notes on the 25-year-old stating her elevated levels of testosterone failed to meet the eligibility criteria. So maybe it's a coincidence that the two people with XY chromosomes made it to the finals, to the championship. It could be a coincidence. Do you think it's a coincidence? I think it's weird. According to the Algerian Olympic Committee, she was disqualified for medical reasons. Khalif herself said at the time there are some countries that did not want Algeria to win the gold medal. This is a conspiracy, a big conspiracy, and we will not be silent about it. What's the conspiracy? Is this outrageous? This is Yahoo News. I'm not picking and choosing any. I don't care how people live their life. But when you impose it on other people, it is a problem. This person physically imposed their will on a woman. This is worse than just saying, I want you to acknowledge or whatever it is your belief is. This person physically beat the crap out of a woman, and then they found out, oh, wait a minute, he shouldn't have been in there in the first place. Usar Kremlin, president of the National Boxing Association, claimed the test had shown that Khalif and Lin had XY chromosomes. He alleged that the organization had uncovered athletes who were trying to fool their colleagues and pretend to be women. This is the IBA. This is not me. This is not me. This article was yesterday. The IBA have since been stripped of the right to run Olympic boxing competitions amid concerns over their governance, with the IOC imposing more forgiving eligibility rules. So, the two XY chromosome having boxers, they're good. They stripped the IBA. They stripped the organization that said they have XY chromosomes. We can't have that. Whoops, sorry. We can't have that. They stripped the organization and are allowing the two XY chromosome fighters to continue. Why not? Barry McGinn, former world featherweight champion, had described it as shocking that Khalif and Lin have actually been allowed to get this far. How is this being allowed? What is going on? The Northern Irishman said. So far, the IOC have been unable to provide satisfactory answers. This person is going to fight this lady right here tomorrow. This person has XY chromosomes. This is a biological man. No matter how you look at it, they're ineligible to compete with women. So when the organization said you are not eligible to compete with women, the Olympic Committee got rid of them. How dare you discriminate? To me, this is so egregious because these are, before you become a pro boxer, this is like the elite of amateur boxers. This is the elite of the elite. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, they all were in the Olympics. These people's aspirations are the Olympics. This guy is a 25-year-old, this girl is a 25-year-old person with XY chromosomes. Fighting women. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? So, when I say there's other reasons behind what we saw, when you start trying to normalize things, Again, it's not the lifestyle. It's the imposition of the lifestyle that I have an issue with. But I'm going to go back to the title. And I want you guys to see, where is it? Oh, crap. What did I do? Sorry, 1 second. Do I not have it? Oh, man. I don't have the picture. You know what? I know where I can find it. Crap, I didn't put it on here. I guess I didn't put it on here. If we look at this again, really quick. Right here, so you have the fake Jesus, then you go the other way, and you have the red head, and you have, I don't know what that is, and then you have somebody over here. You guys can't see my cursor, but you have a child. There's a little girl. It appears to be a little girl up there with all these people. I cannot believe I didn't move that picture. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? 1 second. Sorry. Let's see if I can move these over real quick. I don't know if it's going to work. Because you have to convert everything to PDF. Picture files have to be converted to PDF in order to be seen on StreamYard. So let's see if I can do this. But that is a child next to the other person on the grand stage. And this person, I apologize. I don't know how I missed adding this. Put it here. That's fine. Yes. Perfect. Sorry about that. This child has absolutely no business being on that stage. And if you think that the child should, I believe something's wrong with you. And I'm not just trying to insult you. I genuinely believe that if you think it is okay for this, I think you have a problem. Because there is a gentleman swinging around the little girl, what appears to be a little girl, with this blue person in front and center. And we are, I guess, supposed to think that that's okay. That's acceptable behavior. That's acceptable to have that little girl up there with these people. Do you think this is okay? I don't think this is okay. I just don't. And I'm sorry, this is a little bit gloomier of a topic than normal, but I gotta say something about this. Let's hear what Jordan Peterson has to say about this, because he was on Joe Rogan recently and they spoke about this topic. I'm sending you guys, I'm sharing information with you guys that you may not have paid attention to or seen that I saw, and I said, you know what, this has to be spoken on. So this is Jordan Peterson on Joe Rogan's show. I don't know the exact date, so I don't want to say a time. What is this?
It was typical for girls to undergo a fair bit of confusion when they hit puberty, and that would take the form of negative emotion. No one told her that. They just rushed her down the puberty blocking and surgical pathway. That's inexcusable.
It's evil.
Yeah, it is. It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing I've seen professionals do, not only in my lifetime. I've studied atrocity for 40 years. I've never seen anything worse than what's happening right now. And that includes the sorts of things that were done in the camps in Germany. At least the goddamn Nazis admitted what they did was wrong. They tried to hide it. We trumpet it as a moral virtue. We're freeing the children. It's like, no, I don't think so. mothers. I think what you're doing is sacrificing your child to the parading of your moral virtue. Oh, my son, he's so confused. He thinks he's a girl, but I still love him. That's how wonderful I am. Jesus Christ, Joe. You have no idea how dark that is.
It's dark.
It's unbelievably
and it's
dark.
attached to an industry now.
Yeah, that's
which is
for
very
sure.
scary. There was
an industry and an ideology.
There was an article that was recently released where this person admitted that they said it was what was the exact phrase? That the way they described gender transition as life-saving medical care in order to get insurance for it.
And we hear this about family planning, Planned Parenthood. They do the same thing with the medical language. They provide health services, and they help you plan for parenthood, except they do the exact opposite. So it's an interesting thing that they're doing. It's scary, but we just need to look at it for what it is and stop allowing them to change the English language. These are the people who say words evolve. They don't. They mean what they mean. There's a reason that they're there. There's a reason that they were universally accepted as such.
Yeah.
Because otherwise insurance won't pay for it. So they were willing to describe it in that way to ensure that people would profit off of it, which is wild.
It's
terrifying. And it's so strange because I never would have believed that this could happen. If
Well,
you had
and-
asked me 20 years ago if this was going to be a main concern, that people were worried about their children being roped into this ideology and convinced that they're
and then
authentic
sterilized and
self-
mutilated.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. Well, it's no wonder people see. Even Michael Schellenberger, who broke the WPATH files, when we talked about the role the WPATH played in establishing their own ideology-addled butchery as the standard of care for the American Medical Association, the American Psychiatric Association, the American Psychological Association, Schellenberger said that after he had listened to Abigail Schreier and I talk about this trans mutilation, he was so appalled that he literally couldn't believe it. He just shelved it. He said, there's no way this can be true.
And we saw similar talk around abortion recently. The governor in Virginia was talking about if the woman has the baby, you set the baby aside. This is after she's had the baby up to 24 hours and decide what to do with it. I don't know how anyone can be okay with that. But instead of discussing how egregious that is and how disgusting that is and how terrifying that is, people don't want to talk about it. They will not talk about it. Oh, that doesn't happen. Well, he's on video saying it, setting the baby to the side and discussing with the parent between the mother and the doctor what they should do. This is 9 months and then some. So what they do is they use the language, they frame it in a way that sounds medical, and what Dr. Peterson is saying is a person was so offended by it that they won't discuss it.
He just shelved it. Said, there's no way this can be true. And I can understand that because the more you look into it, the worse it gets.
Right.
It's unbelievably bad. These surgical procedures are so brutal and so experimental that they're I'm going to say it again. They're worse than what the Mengele types did in the concentration camps in the 30s and 40s. And that's a pretty goddamn low bar.
So it's not the same topic as what I was just saying, but when you try to normalize something that is horrific, the best way to do it is to get everybody to either acknowledge it and accept it or don't look at it. It's so horrific, we're not even going to look at it. There are countless cases of people saying, I should not have done this. I can't believe my parents allowed me to do this. To this point here, instead of being a steadfast parent, they'd rather be popular to make themselves look good. I've seen Hollywood parents get up and act like they have 3 trans kids. You know the odds of that? It's not possible. It's just not. I'm not bashing a lifestyle. What I'm saying is it doesn't make it normal, and it should not be imposed on other people. and I don't have much else unless somebody wants to come up and talk about this. I doubt anyone will, because this is a topic that people like to stay away from. I would not be surprised if I have to pull this live down. But I needed to express what I'm saying. I needed to. I could not go and not say what I'm saying. I'm not bashing anyone. I'm not bashing anything that an adult wants to do. But what I do not do, and what I will not allow, is for people to say that I have to accept it, and I have to be okay with it, and I have to agree with it, and I have to advocate for it. Because I don't believe that at all. But I want to play something which leads to the overall arc of what's happening in front of us. This is, if you don't know who Paul Harvey was, he passed away. He used to do radio, and he would just get on. I think he's based out of KTLA in Los Angeles, but he was syndicated nationally. And randomly, he would get on and he would just tell people facts about things and say, now you know the rest of the story. I don't know if you've ever heard that, or if you've heard him. But this is Paul Harvey in 1965, I believe. And I got this video, and I left the video creator on it, and I gave them credit in my description. But listen to this and then tell me where we are right now in society. This is almost prophecy.
If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have 1/3 of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
I cut off the guy's name. It's in the description, but that's prophecy. Like, it doesn't get any clearer. That is legitimately from 1965. legitimately from 1965. That's not AI. I've heard this several times over the years. That is legit. Before AI came out, I'd heard this before. Everything he said is what's happening right now. But the premise of it is, if I were the devil, this is what I would do. So it goes back to the same question of what were they really trying to do? What were they really trying to normalize? What do you think they were trying to normalize? I think they're trying to normalize. Let me pause this, and I want to read this to you guys. This is legislation SB 1414 out of California. This is in February. And I'm just going to highlight the part that I put a little highlight on. Under existing law, if a person solicited was a minor, and the person who solicited the minor knew or reasonably should have known that the person solicited was a minor, the offense is punishable by imprisonment in a county jail for a mandatory minimum of 2 days, and not to exceed 1 year, by a fine not to exceed 1 year, by a fine not to exceed $10,000, or by both such fine and imprisonment. This bill, SB 1414, would instead, if the person solicited was a minor, regardless of whether or not they knew or reasonably should have known the person solicited as a minor, would make the offense punishable by imprisonment in the state prison for 2 to 3 or 4 years, and a fine not to exceed $25,000. Let's play. Move this forward a little bit. All right, this is the second page. And I'm only going by what I highlighted because this is the gist of it. This bill would require a person on or after January 1st, 2025, is convicted of soliciting a minor as specified to annually register as a sex offender for a term of 10 years. If they're convicted, they had to register. This is the bill trying to be passed in California. I want to show you.
1414 takes an overly punitive approach that fails to address the root causes of these.
Fails to take a punitive approach. Let me rewind a little bit because you didn't get the very beginning. This is the California Assembly, straight from their website. I think it's Family Council or something like that. This is the legislatures of California and how they feel about this bill, which cracks down on soliciting minors for sex.
I believe that SB 1414 takes an overly punitive approach that fails to address the root causes of these issues and will not effectively stop sexual violence.
They believe it's too strict and it doesn't address the root cause problems. The root cause problems, in my opinion, is the man or woman soliciting minors. But she doesn't seem to think that.
We are particularly concerned that the harsher penalties proposed in this bill will disproportionately impact marginalized communities, especially members of the LGBTQ community.
Why? It seems like she's hinting that gay people solicit minors. I've known a lot of gay people in my life. I've never known one that solicits minors. That's a completely different category. That's not gay. That has nothing to do with gay. That is a PDF file.
Already suffer from systematic biases within the criminal justice system, particularly when it comes to sexually based offenses. Studies have shown that LGBTQ people, particularly gay and transgendered individuals, are more likely to be charged with sex offenses compared to their heterosexual counterparts. For instance, LGBTQ individuals are 9 times more likely to be charged with sodomy. Measures like SB 1414 lead to higher rates of incarceration, longer sentences, and increased difficulties in finding housing and employment.
Today, EBC must strongly oppose Senate Bill 1414 for the reasons I will state. We stand against any punitive measure that perpetuates systemic injustices, and we emphasize instead the need for community-based solutions.
I don't know if you... Let's go back just a little bit.
And we emphasize instead the need for community-based solutions.
What is a community-based solution to a man or a woman soliciting a minor? How is this even a conversation?
injustices, and we measure that perpetuates systemic injustices, and we emphasize instead the need for community-based solutions. We strongly support investments in victim services and programs to provide housing and other alternatives to help people escape trafficking. We are concerned that the harsher penalties contained in this bill will disproportionately impact marginalized communities, particularly Black and Brown individuals who already bear the brunt of systemic biases within our criminal justice system.
Why would Black and Brown people be targeted if we're not soliciting minors for sex? What is she talking about? And hopefully I'm not misgendering this person. What is this person talking about? Most folks in the community does not agree, but they were bullied into accepting it. I agree with that. Listen to what this person is saying.
In this bill will disproportionately impact marginalized communities, particularly Black and Brown individuals who already bear the brunt of systemic biases within our criminal justice system.
They are using our plights, our emotions, our history, our blood, sweat, and tears to stop a bill that is harsh on people, adults, who solicit minors. Remember, if you go back to if you look at all of my lives, matter of fact, this live I said it. My goal is to stop us from taking up causes and being sympathetic and empathetic to these causes that have nothing to do with us. Why is this person attaching adults soliciting minors to us? Why is this person using our skin colors? Why are we allowing this? They can't stop using us as a scapegoat because we don't benefit from We don't benefit from any of it. She's using PDF files, arguments, and attaching it to our plights, our issues in our community.
We are concerned that the harsher penalties contained in this bill will disproportionately impact marginalized communities, particularly Black and Brown individuals who already bear the brunt of systemic biases within our criminal justice system. Under current California law, defendants could face years or even decades in prison for sexual violence committed against a minor, not just.
So they're talking about violence. This law is addressing solicitation, period. Violence, that's a whole nother charge. Why is an adult soliciting minors? Why do they not want this punishable?
Just 6 months in jail, as Senator Grove and prosecutors have previously claimed. Furthermore, the approach outlined in SB 1414 diverts resources from vital programs and services aimed at supporting survivors of human trafficking and sexual exploitation, opting instead to increase funding for lengthy jail terms. Our research has shown that punitive measures such as lengthy incarceration and registries do little to prevent crime or protect communities.
That is false. Correction. It's true in some instances, but when you're an adult soliciting a minor, that has nothing to do with treatment. It really doesn't. You can't change someone's preference. They either act on it or they don't. And as soon as they act on it, when we're talking about kids, they need really harsh sentences. That's it. Another way to keep us down while uplifting others. And this is more than just, this is an attack on children, all children. All children.
Instead, they perpetuate cycles of incarceration, exacerbating the very problems they are meant to address. Rather than investing in punitive measures, we should be investing in community-based solutions that address the underlying issues driving exploitation.
If your son steals a candy bar from the corner store, and he gets in trouble, he should be punished for it. She's comparing you want to get to the root of it. Hey, why did you steal that? That's a parent's job. Why did you do that? Why didn't you come to me? Is the kid homeless? Is the kid starving? Is the kid just acting out? That's getting to the root causes of that. That has nothing to do with an adult soliciting minors.
We should instead support survivors in healing and rebuilding their lives with access to housing and funding for service providers.
She's saying we'll focus on the victims of the men and women soliciting minors. This is after the fact. She wants to focus on treatment of the people who were violated. And she does not want to do anything to the violators. This is not preventative measures at all. This is reactive. Let them be violated, and then we'll take really good care of them. Or you give really harsh punishments to people to adults who solicit minors.
Given this, we respectfully urge you to oppose SB 1414. Thank you.
Thank you.
And respectful opposition.
Shivani Nishar with Ella Baker Center in respectful opposition. I'm also registering opposition on behalf of Just Advocate, California Innocence Coalition, Uncommon Law, CURB, and Felony Murder Elimination Project.
Melanie Kim, San Francisco Public Defender's Office, respectful opposition.
Duke Cooney on behalf of ACLU California Action, respectful opposition. Thank you.
Jim Lindbergh, Friends Committee on Legislation of California, opposed. Thank you.
So all those people were opposed to stricter sentencing of people convicted of soliciting minors. They don't want it. What is their real agenda? I don't know. I was not intending to be gloomy, like I said, but this topic is too important. We watched an open display with a child present of sexual preference. What does a kid have to do with your sexual preference? Why do you do that? Why would you throw her on that stage? Unless you're trying to normalize something, unless you're saying, oh, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. This behavior is perfectly fine. You as an adult have the right to say that. I have no right to condemn you or judge you or whatever. I reserve every right to condemn you when you involve children. That was California opposing a law that protected children and gave stricter, harsher repercussions for adults who solicit minors. Overall, I think that that's insanity. I saw this tweet, and this sums everything up, really. It's from a guy called The Amazing Atheist. Bible is BS, the Quran is a lie, blah, blah, blah. The response was, but there is such thing as a female penis? And that same person said, yep. This is the world we're living in. Up is down, down is up. Do not believe your lying eyes. If no one wants to come up, which I didn't expect anyone to. That's all I have for today. Apologize for the strong content, but this had to be discussed. It has to be said. We cannot hide when stuff like this is going on, and we have to look at the root causes or the root motivations. Why are we okay with this kind of behavior on an international stage involving children, involving disrespect of your faith? If you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, would you be okay with that kind of portrayal of Muhammad? I remember what happened in France when they just drew a picture of Muhammad. 12 people died. Would you be okay with that? I don't think you would. I really, genuinely don't think you would be okay with that. I appreciate everyone for stopping by today. I knew this one would be harder to watch. Phoenix Rising. Thank you. Beautiful one. Great interview yesterday. Thank you. I'll actually be going over some of that topic, Miss Beautiful One, if you're still in here, on my next live, which will probably be tomorrow because I got a lot to cover. Mike Levin, thank you. Appreciate you. Levin or Levin. Great to see you again. Thanks for coming back. Baker Man Jr., thanks for stopping by. Miss Chicago, as always, appreciate you. Vibes in my lane, thank you. I love seeing the people come back. Denise Stewart, thank you. Amber C, appreciate you coming in as always. Genesis 1, Supermod, appreciate you. She drops all the information before, like as soon as I schedule it. I don't even know how she sees it. I don't even know how she noticed. Like, I get my notifications like 30 minutes out. I don't know how she gets her notifications. It's like instant. Boom, bam, ready. Oh, cool. I don't have to do any of that. I appreciate you all. Thank you, people on Rumble who are watching this or who will watch this. I appreciate you guys. If you would like to bless me and this channel, this is my Cash App. Bam. My goal is to get a camera, so a new camera. So that's my next goal. So that is my Cash App. I can always use a fresh wind. These are content creators that I frequent. Real Talk Nikki, still making great content. Let's see, bam. Please follow her or subscribe. Watch her videos. Share. Great content. Mel's hot button topics. Let's see. Not a problem. Like I said, I knew this was going to be a rough one, just because what I was talking about and where it was going. So it is what it is. Mel's hot button topics. Please visit Mel's channel, like his stuff, share his stuff. He's earning it and he deserves it. I don't really care for deserve, but when somebody's earning something, I think they do deserve recognition for what they do after the fact. I don't think anyone deserves anything before, and Mel definitely has worked on his streaming and on his content, and I know he's working hard on the back end. Also, he's doing a really good job. This person doesn't need my recognition, but that's Mr. Kwame Brown Bus Life. Amazing YouTuber. He's responsible for a lot of people on here, and he doesn't get enough credit. I think he gets more pain and annoyance than he does credit. Miss Akimi, great content creator. Goes over an array of topics, always positive. Love watching Miss Akimi's videos. This to me, when I was talking about earlier, as far as reaction channels, this is one of them. This is the best. Damn D POV, best reaction YouTuber in the game. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. That's why what I was saying earlier. I reserve that and allow the experts to do that. I just want to share information. This will be his other channel, his backup channel is Damn D Live News. He usually puts the clips from the POV channel on there. This is my friend, Vince the Sniper, big supporter also. What happened to Jay? I lost somebody's channel. Dang it. J667 is another one. I don't know. It'll be in the description. I don't know how I lost a channel. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Music coming in was Pharrell, Joy. Love that song. And if I'm talking about faith, that's the kind of music I'm going to put on. Every song I use has meaning. And that one's one of my favorites. And going out is going to be another song of faith. And I appreciate you guys again. Rumble, YouTube. Love you guys all. Let me check the Cash App before I leave, just in case. I don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to miss anybody. Nope, we're good. Cool. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Christ is King, no matter what the media is trying to tell you. You don't have to believe that. I'm just letting you know that that's what I believe.